Hello you guys, it's Grace, and today I am going to be doing the 2019 mid-year book freakout tag. That was a mouthful. So I haven't sat down and filmed a video for this channel in a hot minute. I just haven't been reading as much as I wanted to. The things I have been reading are old and I feel like they're less relevant than they used to be, and I haven't been buying books. I have just basically been reading the things on my shelf. So I wanted to sit down in the first minute of this video and explain a little bit of why that is. So first of all, I've been really busy with school. I just finished my second year of college and it was a really stressful year, to be honest. I have always known kind of exactly where I wanted to go with my life and what I wanted to do with my life. And all of a sudden this year that kind of changed and I wasn't finding the same excitement and passion in myself regarding my course of studies as I always had been before. So this spring semester I decided that I wanted to completely change what I was doing, and now I'm moving and transferring schools. I'm switching majors. Most people, I feel like they just change majors. Nope, I am changing majors, picking up, leaving, moving to an entirely different state, an entirely different school, and kind of starting over. I'm moving to California, which is part of the reason I haven't been buying a whole lot of books, is because A, I need to save up to move, and B, buying a bunch of books before you move just isn't a really good idea. I only have my vehicle. I can fit as much stuff as I can in my car and in that room, and that's all. And I'm also bringing my dog with me, so I can't bring like 7 boxes of books and an entire bookshelf with me. So I've been trying to focus a lot on books I have on my shelf and that have been there for a really long time, and I'm trying to read those books before I buy any new books. I wanted to do this tag anyway to kind of get reinvigorated, because sometimes I feel like halfway through the year you just kind of don't realize how far behind you are or how little you've been reading. So this summer I have been focusing a lot more on writing than reading. I started a new novel and I'm really excited about it. I've never gotten this far in a book without losing interest in it and just putting it on the trash pile. So I'm hoping I can actually manage to finish this book instead of just starting it and then never finishing it like I have done with every other book I've started writing. So that's been really exciting and contributes to the fact that I've only read 12 books this year. Without further ado, I'm gonna stop rambling and we're gonna jump into the mid-year book freakout tag. Question 1 is, what is the best book you've read in 2019 so far? That book is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This was just a really good wrap up to the series. I felt like it was an emotional roller coaster, but I really enjoyed this one, and I think it just was a nice way to wrap up the series. It's a honker, a big old book for sure, and those are my favorite kinds. Question 2 is, what is your favorite sequel you've read this year? I would just throw another Sarah J. Maas book on there, but I'm going to try to switch it up a little bit. And I decided to go with Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. I read Anna and the French Kiss last year. For the most part, I loved this book. It made me laugh, it made me smile, and I could not put it down. I finished this book, I think, in 2 days. I might have even finished it in 1 day. I don't remember. And I don't know if you can officially call this a sequel. It's more like a companion story to Anna and the French Kiss, but it did come second, so I'm counting it as a sequel. Question number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't gotten around to yet? For this one, I'm going with The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I try to get my hands on everything Cassandra Clare writes as soon as possible and read them right away because I love her writing. She's an absolutely amazing author, and basically every story she tells just pulls me in right away and I love it. But for some reason I just haven't gotten around to reading this one yet. I didn't buy it that long ago, so that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But this is a 2019 release that I'm really excited for and I really want to read before the end of the year for sure. And to go along with that, I also haven't read Queen of Air and Darkness yet. Shame me in the comments, please. This book is just giant. I loved the first 2 books in this series, but I can't say I loved them as much as I loved Cassandra Clare's other books. Like, I didn't get as attached to the characters as I did the other characters in the books. But it still was fantastic, and I still want to get to this, and I'm sure I will still give it, like, a very high rating, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I keep, like, telling myself to pick it up, but lately I've been in a contemporary mood, and before that I was reading other things, and it just... I'll get there. I will get there. Hopefully before the end of this year. The next question is, what is your most anticipated release of 2019? And for that one, I have Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. It is the sequel to Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, and I'm so beyond excited for it. I didn't even realize there was a sequel that was going to be coming out until last week. I don't know how I didn't realize this. I haven't really been keeping up to date with book news lately, but I am so excited. I can't wait. Question number 5 is, what has been your biggest disappointment of 2019 so far? And I can't say I really had a book that I hated or really disliked that much, but I will say that a book I wanted more out of was Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. This book just kind of felt like a little bit of a filler to me. I really enjoyed it, and I did get a lot out of it that I think was beneficial to the series, but I felt like this could have been shortened and made into like a novella, or just some of these details could have been added into the book after it. I think I still did give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It just felt like some parts of it were a little unnecessary to me, and I would have rather just gone on to the final book. Question number 6 is, what is your biggest surprise of 2019 so far? And for that, I chose Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I honestly wasn't the biggest fan of the first 2 books in this trilogy. I think there's actually a 4th book coming out, so I don't know. I don't really plan on reading it. I thought these books were good, but I honestly couldn't get into them for some reason. But this 3rd book, Morning Star, I absolutely loved. The first, like, quarter to half of it was a little slow for me, but the ending just, I flew through it. It was absolutely fantastic, and it really surprised me considering that I couldn't really get into it before that point. Question number 7 is, who is your favorite new author? This can either be a new like debut author or an author that is new to you in 2019. And for this one, I chose Patricia McConnell. She is an animal behaviorist, and she writes books about dog behavior. I read a book by her this year, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm sure not a lot of people watching this will be super interested in her writing, but if you are a dog lover and if you kind of like science, these are nonfiction books that she writes, but they're absolutely fantastic, and her writing style is beautiful. Number 8 is, who is your newest fictional crush? And for this one, I chose Cricket from Lola and the Boy Next Door. I was really trying not to mention books twice in one video, but it had to happen a couple times. Cricket is just like an overwhelmingly adorable character, and I love him so much, and the way he's described just like makes my heart happy. He's wonderful, he's adorable, and I love him. I want to protect him. He's like a small baby that I would probably also want to give like a super big hug. Him and his lanky legs and pinstripe pants. Question number 9 is, who is your newest favorite fictional character? And for this one, I'm going with Aelin from the Throne of Glass series. I think she's a badass female character, and I love her. I think she's amazing. I think she cares deeply about her friends and the people who are close to her. And I kind of wish I was as awesome as her. Number 10 is, what is a book that made you cry? I don't cry easily, especially not for books for some reason. Movies kind of have a leg up for crying because of the soundtracks, and they make you a little bit more emotional. But books tend to not really make me cry very often, if at all. But there was one book this year that did make me cry, and that was For the Love of a Dog by Patricia McConnell. The way the author shares stories really tugs at your heartstrings, and there were a couple stories that reminded me of a dog in my life that had some behavioral issues and ended up having to be euthanized. There was a story she told that reminded me of his story, and for some reason the way she shared that story just made me tear up and cry, and I was reading it during a work shift, so it was super embarrassing. She has a way with words, and it just made me bawl. Number 11, on the contrary, is what is a book that made you happy? And for this one, I went with Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. I was really in the mood for a contemporary this summer, so I've picked up a couple, and Stephanie Perkins books just, for some reason, always make me super happy. And I'll sit there and like laugh and giggle and like be super excited about these books. And this one was no exception. It made me feel very happy and gooey inside, and the romance was really cute in this one, and I really enjoyed it. Number 12 is what is the most beautiful book that you bought this year? Like I said, I really haven't bought a whole lot of books in 2019, but I'm gonna go with Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I don't know what it is about this cover that just gets me. It's so pretty and just so adorable. It has like the paint covered fingers and like the characters and like the little comic bubbles, and then like the spine is super cute, and I just think it's a really pretty book. And I really like it, and it's one of the few books that I have purchased so far this year. I got it on Book Outlet, which is my favorite place to shop for books because you get them for super cheap, and that's a big thumbs up from me. The last question is a doozy. It is, what books do you need to read before the end of the year? And let me tell you, there's about 100 that I would like to finish before the end of 2019, but I don't think that's going to happen, so I'm going to be a little bit more realistic and just name a few. These are the ones that I feel shamed about not reading yet, because they've been sitting on my shelves for way too long. The first one is the Grisha trilogy. I loved Six of Crows, and I'm in the mood to reread Six of Crows, so I kind of want to reread Six of Crows and read these around the same time. And yeah, but I need to finish these before the end of the year because I think they've been sitting on my shelves for easily 4 years. Then I have Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, which is the book following Scythe, which I really enjoyed, and I don't know why I haven't picked this one up yet. Then I have Arch Enemy by Marissa Meyer. Again, this is the sequel to Renegades, and I have no idea why I haven't picked it up yet because I loved Renegades. Then I have A Map of Days by Ransom Riggs. Again, please shame me in the comments. Next up I have Passenger and Wayfarer by Alexander Bracken. I've picked these up probably about 4 times, read the description, been like, oh yeah, this sounds interesting, I should really get around to reading these, and then I pick up something else. I don't know why. The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. So anyway, that is it for the 2019 mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment below what books you're most excited for. Comment below what book you're most excited to come out in 2019, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!